Alrighty, Sharp Customs, we're rolling. I know it's been, I don't even know how long it's been. I just know it's been a few days since our last video. Maybe closer to a week. But it's Saturday, October 7th, I believe. It's Thanksgiving Day weekend here. We've been pretty busy all week. We worked on a van this morning. That's actually our ride to, go to family for dinner and crap. We had to, if anybody's ever owned a Astro van or a Safari, basically I'll just quick rundown. We had to fix the lower radiator hose. Clamp was busted and it was leaking a bit. And if you've ever owned one of those, working down in the front of one of those is a nightmare because you can't get at anything. We also had a bit of a power steering leak. I think it was just a loose clamp. We fixed that about a week ago. The line was rotten. Not the pressure line, the return line. We fixed it. Hopefully it was just a clamp loose. We've also been very busy because it's fall, which is harvest time if you have gardens, which you've seen in my other videos. We have a garden. And I can tell you this year, so we had lots of tomato plants, and for some reason, I'm going to come in close. So our tomato plants didn't really grow any tomatoes this year, and I don't know why, but they were a lot of work. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. National leaf, nonetheless, for Canada. So we've also been doing a little bit of work on this, what you can see right here. If the camera wants to come in, you can look at this monstrosity here. This is a 07 Nissan Xterra, and we believe it needs valve seals. It's smoking a bit, so we're kind of doing open heart surgery. We're replacing basically these little guys right here, 24 of them. I'm not going to really get into that too much because we are going to do a bit of a video. If the camera wants to pan over there, you can see we got the cams, the cam gears, the timing chains. Yeah, it's not really a job I enjoy doing, but I'm going to say it's a challenge. Most dealers or mechanics would probably pull this motor out of the vehicle to work on it because it is a little tricky. We had to, I'm going to save that for another video because we're gonna move on. We're gonna keep moving forward. How about that? So we thought about going to a fall fair today because they were having a metal sculpting contest. Now, I haven't shown much stuff like that, but I got these two little rinky-dink things. I got I don't know what you call it. It's a lizard, maybe an iguana. It was made from an old broken pipe wrench piece, some old weird-looking wrenches that somebody gave me. They were just rusty garbage things, some chain. We got a piece of sprocket, bicycle sprocket on there. And then we got the crazy-looking the Scorpion. We got the old vice grips for the pinchers. We got a drill chuck, and I'm not sure what that little pointy thing is. Nonetheless, though, it looks pretty cool. But yeah, we thought about going there, but of course we have family stuff to do this afternoon. I'm gonna lay these aside before I move on to the next and final thing in the video. Which, to my quarter scale viewers, that's what it's about. It's quarter scale stuff. I think you'll find it very interesting. I want to make some mentions. So there's a guy I watch. He makes, I don't know, 124, 125 scale models. It's called The Garage with Zippy. He has a bitchin' looking Not sure on the year, he calls it Ruby, but it's a Chevy, old Chevy truck, like the ones we're building. And I just wanted to put a mention out there. You know, go check him out. You know, give him a view. Another mention is Pat the Rocker, or Rocker Pat. Good Joan Jett show. I gotta admit, that was pretty good. I watched the whole thing. Yeah, good show. Good show. Another mention, I follow a guy out west, Half-Ass Customs. You gotta go check him out. He does a lot of interesting stuff. His shop burnt down a while back. He's finally working on his new shop, you know. Give him a check out. And I want to thank all our subscribers. And I want to welcome all of our new subscribers. And if you have comments, maybe something you want to see, you know, more metal fab, more airbrushing, more composite building, you know, don't be afraid to, you know, comment, because we don't go out of our way to create videos. We just do videos kind of on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month. It's kind of like whatever happens, happens. And that's just what we do. And for now, I think we're going to move on to the next little project, because I don't want to bore you guys. So, you know, don't forget, I'm going to say it now, share, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's move on. So, we got the quarter scale, Super Modified 2, we got the Jackrabbit. So, basically, when I bought the Super Modified 2, these were kind of the tires that were, two of the tires. We had, it came with two rubber, kind of hard rubber tires. They're kind of, this one's worn out a bit. This one's still decent. I'm pretty sure they're probably original. Not 100% on that, you know. But these ones, they're a pretty heavy, dense foam. And I found a few people in the quarter scale groups that reproduce foam tires like this. I could buy tires from a few different sources. I'm not going to name names, but all I'm going to say is they've got the market kind of covered for nice rubber stock car tires, but they're very expensive and they take a long time to get. That's all I'm going to say about that. So nobody would indulge how they make their foamies. So I had to come up with my own solution, and basically I started out with a knee board. You know the knee board? It's called EVA foam. You can use them in your workshop to kneel on. On Amazon they call them a garden pad. You kneel on it. I just happen to have one kicking around out back. Don't really use it much. My knees are made of metal. But anyhow, I decided I would figure out, basically, so I made this. So I cut the board, I made myself 4 squares, and I made ringlets. And then I laminated them together, and yeah, you can see the seam. But that's, you know, this, of course, the board I had was blue. I think it's pretty cool looking in the blue. It's not the diameter. Now I've been trying to source the EVA foam. And what I came up with, I went on Amazon, and in I guess yoga, exercising, you can find mats, play mats are EVA. You know, when you start to source it, you start to find more and more and more. I found this was 18 inches long. This is EVA. It's a heavier density. And basically, so what I've been doing is I've been slicing off slices, hence 2 chunks instead of 4. Now, what we're going to do, I've already pre-drilled the holes, as you can see, and I'm I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how I make these wheels. I think it's pretty cool. We got a scroll saw. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see, you know, what I'm doing. I'm going to try and do this, you know, as quick for you guys as possible. Yeah, you know what? Me bad. I drilled some holes in the scroll saw table, doing the blue ones. So basically, get the blade through there, hook it back up, tighten it up, just snug, put the pressure on it, find the hole. There we go. So we're set. Now I just turn it on. I'm just going to rotate the phone. This is my center diameter for the plastic rim. Boom. That's it. Just like that. We lift the tension. We undo the blade. We pull it out. So basically, now I've got a core. I'm gonna hold on to these. I might find a use for them. You know, you never know. So basically what I do is I make, these are, so my rims measure 3 inches from inside edge to inside edge. I cut these at right around 3 1/4 because I have to sand them to get these edges, you know, get the surfaces smooth, and then blow them off with air. I'm not going to cut the other one. We're just going to jump over to the table with a couple of ringlets that I've already glued. So here they are. They're pre-glued together. Now look, they don't really match up right because this yoga, they call it a yoga roller. It's not perfectly round. In the description it said it was 6 inches. It's not really 6 inches. It's about 5 3/4, and it's, like I say, it's not perfectly round. But you know, we're gonna cure that problem. So this one's already been glued. If you want to know what I glue it with, there's many. You could use an aerosol spray. You know, Elmer's, feather spray. I think most glues, I wouldn't use a hard glue. I wouldn't use like Gorilla Glue. Basically, this is what I used. I just used rubber cement. That's what I used. And it bonds them so tight you can't pull it apart. So we've got one of the plastic rims. So basically, I'm going to show you how I get it round. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple. We're going to basically put these two together. There we go. I've already got my bolts. These little stainless steel bolts, I've already got them set up. I don't want to, you know, don't want to bore you. This can be a little tricky because I have to apply a lot of pressure because I've got about a 1/2 inch gap between the foams, and there's a reason for that. The reason being is I want the foam to press out over the edges of the rims. This gonna be tricky. I should work smart, not hard. Let's put it in the vise. Let's clamp it together. There we go. There we go. I'm going to grab a nut and my Allen key. Going to try and do this. Yeah, I know, I'm all fingers. I have to hold it with the pliers. These things, look how small this thing is. Look at this, a guy like me with these big sausage fingers, and I'm trying to put something together like this. But you know what? For anybody who's into this type of hobby, they kind of know. They kind of know what I'm going through right now. Everybody go, oh yeah, we've been there. We've been there, we know exactly what he's talking about. You got these little itty bitty, I don't even know, 2M, maybe 3M, not sure, millimeter. It's like they're just little itty bitty guys. I bought this whole case, Amazon. Let's see, what's it got? It's got 3M, 4M, 5M, and 6M. Now it says stainless steel. Well, you know where it come from, and it's not real stainless. Might have a coating, but it's not real. Magnets stick to it. You know, it's one of those. It's a mystery metal. That's what we call it, a mystery metal. Yeah, you know what? Hey, I just come up with something new. Work smart, not hard. This sticking it in a vise. That's awesome. Okay, she's pretty much glued together. You can see how the foam is protruding outward. And I like that because we're going to move over to the lathe. I'm going to show you how I basically smoothen this out, get it nice and true, and then I'll profile the sides, make it kind of look like this rubber one right here. So we come over to the lathe, we slap this in here. Of course I'm grabbing it backwards, you know, so I got to remember to turn it backwards. I'm not tightening, I have to loosen, and it's plastic, so I got to be kind of gentle. It's going to be noisy, so I'm probably going to shut up for a second. There you go, we spin it. Now, how do we get that? You know, you can't use a cutter. The cutter doesn't really cut the foam. So I came up with this, my board sander. And basically, if the camera wants to come around to my right side, I just stick it here. Nice solid place to stick it. I just start working it back and forth. Try not to let the board move around too much. And basically, I just keep going back and forth. We're almost there. It's pretty quick. Doesn't take long. And look at that. The board is not moving. I am going to make a fixture. So, to profile the edge, same thing. Oh, look at that. Check that out. There's your little bit of EVA. Just take a little brush, sweep it off. Of course, I'll vacuum that up. I'll dispose of it properly because I'm not really sure what it is. So I'm just going to roll the board. There you have it. Look at that. Now, I can hit this with a smoother sandpaper. I still got to flip it around to profile this corner. But in the end, we end up with pretty nice looking foamy tire. You know, you can see the seam in the middle. Now you could, I have seen people, you could take some sandpaper, same grit, this is like 80 grit. You could down it a bit and make this texture even smoother. And a trick with this foam rubber, if you wanted it to look shiny, like it was a actual rubber tire, what I found is you give it a quick little spray with WD-40, rub it with a rag. You know, if you wanted to put like, you know, Hoosier or Mickey Thompson or Goodyear, you could make yourself a little stencil, you know, put some white paint on there, you could WD over it, look pretty bitchin', I think. But if you wanted tread, you could take some sandpaper and you look at, you can just, and it happens so easy. You could put some lines in there, and then you could take your sandpaper and you could go this way. And you could literally make a foam treaded tire. I don't want a foam treaded tire because this is going to be an on-road car, asphalt, you know, concrete, whatever. And yeah, the other foamies, these old ones gripped super great. They were just cracked. I just wanted to you know, either find out where I could buy some. Obviously I couldn't. I did find one guy in one of the quarter scale groups, and that was a dead end. That's all I'm gonna say. The guy's got so much stuff, drives me nuts. But I wanted to show all my viewers and all my quarter scale guys how to make your own. This wheel, this material right here, so it took me a little bit of time. You watched it. You know, it cost me about $4. That's what I'm gonna say. That tire cost me about $4 to make. That's a considerable bit cheaper than anything I've found on the market to buy for this quarter scale stuff. And that's what I like. I like a bargain. I definitely like making my own stuff. And let's slap it on the car, see what it looks like. We don't really have two to stick on there. We'll just set it on there. Look at it. You could even you could make your diameters different sizes, so you could create your own stagger. How about that? If this was, say, a sprint car, you could do a bigger right rear, you know, do your fronts the same size, do a little bit smaller left rear, and you just created stagger into the car without changing the suspension. So how cool is that? So right there, you watched it, you've seen how easy it is. Now I'm not sure, I have not tested this foam yet. I will do a video testing these tires, but nobody would show me, so I'm showing you. How about that? Share, like, subscribe, Sharp Customs. Peace.